This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
All right, I'm good.
Go.
We can keep going.
So I was
Let's
just
go.
saying
More
that
trivia, please.
Arnold's really funny. He was fucking with everybody as they did all this stuff. He was a really good sport with all the action stuff. He did a lot of his own stunts. There was stuff like the shot where somebody broke a pool stick over the back of his head. They just put a metal bar attached to the back of his head, and they had a guy just like hit the metal bar. So like that's pretty fucking risky, right? Like if the guy misses,
he's just saying go for it.
Yep. He was joking about he was like, I'm fucking great looking. I'm a fucking movie star. And every one of these goddamn movies, they try to put a bunch of shit on my face every single time.
Look at me. I'm great. Yeah.
They had multiple effects studios working on all the effects for over a year. They had ILM. They had Stan Winston. They had a bunch of other ones working on different shit throughout the year.
Wow.
They did a bunch. Like I couldn't emphasize enough. This is one of the best kind of behind the scene things you could watch. All of the different moments where they point out what's going on in every kind of sequence that you're watching is like really awesome because you don't notice a lot of it, right? Like there's a scene where Arnold is walking towards a bunch of cops and they're shooting him, and you have the wide shot of Arnold walking, and then you have like a behind shot of what looks like Arnold getting shot, and you can see shit flying off of him, but it's actually like a dummy they built and they're firing at it. So there's like little pieces of shit actually flying off of it, and they intercut it
actually being shot.
And they cut it like really pretty great. Like they spent a lot of time on how they walked and the timing of the walk, and they edited it so like the pace would be on, so like his walk would seem continuous. They did it with Arnold. They did it with the T-1000. You don't notice it, but like if you're like sitting there like he steps, then it would work. And like because of that, like the edit just makes it seem way more realistic. And they focus on
he
that
was
sort of
just
stuff.
on pace.
Right.
Always. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a good little trick.
And they had to do the same thing with the T-1000, like right in the beginning when they cast Robert Patrick. They put a bunch of sensors on him and just tracked his movement. They computerized how he moves so that all those CG shots, like you think, once they tracked his movement, they didn't have like motion capture back then. They tracked his motion and figured it out in the computer, and all the shots of him walking were completely programmed. Like it wasn't him walking around with dots like they do now for that sort of stuff. They somehow captured the way he walks and then used that information to fabricate this other stuff. So it was like out of scratch kind of, It's got to be easier now, but it's pretty crazy because I assumed it was something easier than it was. Oh yeah. One of the, so here's a bunch of shots that were real when the T-1000 gets shot in the head and there's a hole in his head.
Yeah, then you see through it.
That was a model.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not CG.
Damn. So okay. Well, I mean,
they intercut it so they show the shot of him with like the silvery stuff.
Yeah,
and then it shows him like moving around and his like face and eyes move, and then it cuts, and then you see it close. The closing is CG. Same with the shot where he gets like shot with a shotgun in the head, and his like head splits open at the top.
Yeah,
and it kind of moves around.
Yeah,
that was real. Stan Winston job right there, and then it cuts to another shot of it folding back together and coming like that was CG. The shot of the metal arm in the back of the head was real. The shot of him pulling the metal thing out of the back of his head, real. There was only one shot in that entire sequence that was CG, and that's when she has her arm on the screen and it like melds from the point to her hand.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, right.
Maybe that's why it works so well, because you're just shifting back and forth from what's real to what's CG so fluidly that you don't just focusing on the CG part, and so it works because it's
crazy how it matches is what really
I was
blew
still
my
wondering
mind.
how the fuck they did that so long ago and have it look so good the way it does, and I think you're right. It's
there are shots where I don't even know what was happening, but the scene where they're shooting the T-1000 like towards the lava, the steel, and you see him like flinching to every shot, and there's like little explosions going in his body, and there are little like silver holes creating in his body. Mm-hmm. They had some kind of silver squib or something that was real too. Damn. Where like every time they shot, he would have this little thing pop up on his body,
a mercury sort of thing that was like popping out,
right? But like they hit it somewhere in his costume where like it would pop out, and like it matches exactly how the CG looks and all these other things, but they're just like real silvery looking things.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was expecting
Wow.
when I saw this, because I remember being impressed at the time when I was little, and I haven't seen this for a long time. I was totally expecting it to be underwhelmed by the visual effects of the specifically of the T-1000. I was thinking like I thought that was really cool. Then I was very surprised that I still thought it was awesome.
Yeah, the only bad one was the floor.
I like the floor.
I thought,
Didn't like the floor.
that was the only one I didn't
You
like.
gotta have something to complain about, don't
I
you, you
told
Boston
ya.
asshole?
That's right. I mean, it was the worst one.
The scenes, there was a bunch of shots where he was pointing out when they were fighting in the steel factory towards the end, where it wasn't CG. It was him and Arnold like hand-to-hand combat, and he was in like silver metal guy mode, and it was just a guy in a silver suit. And like,
Oh, no shit.
and if
Oh,
you
really?
point
No
out,
way,
like,
really?
we rewatched it a few times, you can kind of tell, but like,
Yeah.
it works pretty fucking well because like everything is going so fast and all the action
Right.
edits are working so well. It's just a guy in a silver suit punching Arnold. That's
God
it.
damn, and they still they kept. I don't think I noticed this because it was happening so fast when I was younger and watching this. There's so many cool ways they play with that. Like there's one scene where he gets face first thrown into the wall, the T-1000 does, and he flips
around.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
it's
that
so
one.
good.
It's so
that
cool.
one was
Yeah.
great.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't
Yep.
remember noticing
Yep.
that when I was little, but they just play with this idea, like how he's metal, he'll go through, he's
Prison
crossing
bars.
through the jail bars,
Yeah.
right?
And then he gets caught with his gun. I thought that was a nice little...
Cameron wrote the script,
Yeah.
so I imagine that's him just being really clever with this idea.
It was him and his co-writer. He wrote it with
And-
another dude. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I
Bill
just loved
William.
how Bill William. I love how they kept playing with this idea that he was liquid, and so they're thinking, what can they do with that? And I think that again, just whatever touch they could do to do it. That one shot where he's like thrown against the wall and flips his face around, that was so cool. It's like, whoa. Yeah.
I also like the scene where he like pulls the pipe out of his body and he's just holding onto it.
Yeah.
It's like you thought he like hits him and like it breaks him in half, but then he like shifts
Right,
over
he's
and
like,
he's just
shoop.
holding it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me, man. I'm liquid goddamn
I'm better
metal.
than you. Yeah.
Liquid dude.
They set a lot of shit on fire and filmed it at 300 frames per second. That's how you get all that
okay.
good slow-mo fire stuff that's going on in
I
this movie.
see.
A
Okay.
lot of fire.
The shots where both robots from the future come and land on Earth. You know how there's kind of like a red glow on
Mhm.
where they burn kind of the orb
Oh,
around
yeah.
them. They just like put some type of reflective plastic on the edges of those things. Like they had to carve
Yeah.
out the truck, the ground, and the fence for those two shots. And they just put this reflective plastic on it. And then they had this light underneath the camera. So they shot that in camera where they just illuminated this reflective plastic on those things to make it glow orange like it was hot, and then dim it during the course of the shot so it like cools off.
I will say those
Wow.
scenes didn't hold up as well, like the future battle shots. I still like.
I
I
liked
like I liked them, but they didn't. They looked more like toys. I think everything looked like toys in some of those shots. It seemed.
Can't disagree.
Still liked it.
I don't even really think about those scenes, honestly, when I think of the whole movie, right? It's kind of just
No, I know. But I was thinking of that and comparing that to Aliens in terms of like the scenes with the spaceships and stuff, or the landing scenes that seemed so much more brutal and realistic than this. This seemed so maybe because everything was just so polished.
it
And
was just
clean
that one
looking.
shot, though. There was one shot. I
Yeah.
remember in the first Terminator, there was a guy that gets like eviscerated or, completely evaporated with a laser shot, and he screams and he's gone. And the effect is like good.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah,
nothing
back
like that.
then.
Like, I don't feel like there's any weight in the intro scene in this movie.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I agree. I
with you
agree.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fine
kind of-
because it's like 2 minutes long, and you're like,
I
all
know,
right,
It
no,
gives
I know,
you the
yeah.
backstory with seeing something.
Yeah,
right.
you know?
Relatively speaking, it's nothing, but it's just sort of it does stand out as like if we're talking about the things that didn't seem to age as well.
yeah, I would not disagree with that. I just didn't want to talk shit in the movie, John, so I wasn't going to say anything, but, you can do what you want.
I'm sorry,
It's
Jim's
your
gonna
Do
podcast,
whatever you
John.
want, man.
There was digital Winky removal, is how Jim Cameron actually is how you say it. It's
Winky?
Jimbo.
Winky. When they were naked in the beginning
Oh,
and squatting in their
Oh,
landing
yeah, yeah.
positions.
Dinkles.
So actually,
Winky dinky.
in the Blu-ray version I have, you don't see the digital Winky removal, and during the commentary, you can like you see it on Robert Patrick, like the shadow of his something, like some type of
Oh,
genitalia
tell
is
us
in
more,
the shot.
Denny.
Is in the shot, but then if you watch the 4K UHD, they don't like remove it, but they put a little digital rock in front of it.
It's like a rock floating there.
It's like not floating, but it's like he's bending down right in front of like a concrete pillar. But like
I see.
in the real version, the pillar doesn't
there.
block it. But like in this one, they just put a little digital rock on top of the pillar and it blocks
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you look at it,
compliant,
you can see that it's CG.
Ah,
I'm doing the dirty work for you guys, so don't bother. But
I like during those scenes.
I believe you.
I was impressed even in those scenes. It looked really cool, particularly with Schwarzenegger's entrance where they had the truck carved out.
Yeah,
like they had.
See, that was just what TC was saying he didn't like. No, that's what you were saying you didn't like.
No, I was saying I didn't like that future sequence, but when what I was talking about was when
that's what I was talking about with the digital effects of the reflective plastic when they had the orange light.
Oh, I was just talking about meaning like they were trying to show that like he appeared because of time travel and just took a like chunk out of the whatever it was they appeared with.
Yeah. So my previous trivia was that I don't know if so like the orange light when they burned that hole.
I thought you were talking about when you were talking about the orange light. I thought you were talking about the future battle scene.
No, so it's like when they land. It's when they make the orb
first.
And all the metal they just burn is glowing orange.
Yeah. I wasn't criticizing that one. I like
but now do you understand how it was done? It was just reflective plastic and they had the light and all that stuff.
I thought you were talking about like okay.
Yeah. There you go.
You.
I'm not sure you understand still. That's fine.
Late. I was up at 3 a.m. this morning, so I'm going to give myself some excuses right there.
So one of the things they didn't write into the movie was the shot where the truck in the canal scene the top gets shaved off, the cab top gets shaved off, and they didn't think of it because they didn't know how the canal was, but they got to this point during shooting where they hit a part where they're like, we can't fit the truck under here. What are we going to do? So they're like, fuck it, let's just rip the truck top off and write it into the movie.
Oh, nice.
I mean, where were they doing this that they could just like destroy this canal area?
It was in L.A.
They're like, sure, fuck it, run the truck into it.
Again, they had a ton of money, right?
It's the Bull Creek Weir.
They're like,
LA.
we're just going to replace that section anyway. Go for it. Maybe that's all it was.
Maybe. I think it's still there, though.
We'll pay to upgrade it if we can destroy it.
I'm not sure they upgraded it. It looks the same.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at it now.
I mean, maybe there's some kind of science behind it. That they're like, no matter what you do, you're not going to break it.
And all the stuff they broke, they built too.
Yeah.
So like the barrier they smashed into, they built that little divider that the truck eventually smashes into. There wasn't a divider there, and they built the divider because they needed it to smash into something.
I see. Oh, interesting. Okay. So there was a little bit of construction on their side.
Oh yeah, tons of construction. Okay. They did weird stuff like throughout where they had the corridor chase scene right after the arcade scene, or like the end of the arcade scene where he's behind the arcade. And they shot the most of that in real corridors as they were turning corners. But then the shootout scene couldn't take place in a real corridor, so they had to replicate that corridor he was in on set, and then they reshot that. But it
interesting.
They pointed out, I was like, damn, these guys replicated it. It looks the exact fucking same.
They're regular construction. Yeah. It's perfect.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about that type of stuff when you watch movies. It's like pretty fun. It's like, all right, we can film this for real here, but they won't let us shoot blanks because there's kids over there or whatever playing video games. So we have to like reconstruct this, budget it. Can we afford it? All right, put it in. We're doing it. Move forward.
It is amazing.
Yeah. Edward Furlow was going through puberty when this movie was filming.
Is that why he was cracking the whole time?
Well, about halfway through the movie, his voice dropped. And because of that, all the stuff they filmed before, they had to loop over. He had to like dub his own voice.
Interesting.
That explains it. There seemed to be some like stark ADR.
Yeah. And it's because his voice dropped. And there's one scene they kept in. But it works. So like they kept in his original performance of the scene where him and Arnold are under the truck and he's talking about why like humans cry and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they kept his original higher pitched voice in because like he's kind of whispering and it's like a softer scene sort of thing. So it fit.
It works.
But like if you want to hear where his voice started, watch that one scene, and then the rest of it is like a little bit lower.
Wow.
That's wild. For
the security guard in the mental institution, no special effects there, just twins. They just hired twins.
Oh, no way. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Save some money. Good job.
Wow. Right. No, just hire some twins.
Yeah. Those guys are apparently in Gremlins too. They play like twins a bunch in that type of role.
Wow.
Huh. Not bad.
Good work if you get it there.
Jim Cameron, I'm going to call him Jim. Yeah, the scene where Linda was smacking that security guard that licked her face.
Yes.
They kept in the takes. They were doing action scenes where she hit him like 3 times, and the shots they kept in was when she accidentally hit him too hard on all 3 of the individual takes. So they did like a bunch of takes, and James was like, "Do it more. Come on, it doesn't look real. Do it." And then she would accidentally hit him, and then that shot would be in, and that's when they stopped. He's like, "Got it.
That was how I'm calling my agent."
That's yeah. I'm not sure you can get away with that anymore.
No.
You could try maybe. Linda Hamilton had permanent hearing loss because of the elevator shotgun scene. They actually had blanks in like all their guns and stuff were real blanks like throughout the movie.
Oh Jesus!
And
I do wonder about this with all these
Scary.
fucking guns with people like he's on a motorcycle. You're shooting a shotgun right by his ear and nobody's flinching. It's insane.
They had hidden earplugs in, but during the course of that shot, she went to the bathroom and took her earplugs out and came back, forgot to put them in, and he fired it off right next to her head.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, it would ruin any action movie where like somebody shoots the gun and somebody's like, "God damn, ow, ow!"
No, that'd be good. I think that'd be good.
Wait a minute, ow! That's fucking loud. I didn't know guns were that loud.
They do that in like Snatch, don't they? Where it's like extra loud blanks and they fire it off in the car.
Yeah, but just like it's amazing, like just like shotguns going off like right by your face and nobody's like bothered.
The scene where the T-1000 hijacks the truck towards the beginning, and it shows a shot of the truck driver falling out of the truck and kind of rolling.
Yep,
that was just a real stunt. There was no safety things there. The safety, the stunt guy was like supposed to tuck and roll better than that. But like James Cameron says, like every time he watches that part of this movie, he winces because the guy
knows it was real.
The back of his head. Yeah, he just rolls in his back because he was supposed to like tuck his head in as he went to like protect the back of his head.
And just
but
went,
he did,
boom.
and the back of his head was just like wham on the ground.
God, did he like get a concussion? Jesus,
they didn't
he
talk
must
about
have.
it.
He must have. Oh yeah,
but that
guy barely woke up.
There was no padding. There was no sped up camera. It was just a guy jumping out of a truck going 25 miles an hour. Yeah,
that was
like 10 feet up,
fall
going
too.
25.
Right. Shit.
Yeah, he's bald. He's got no hair. Help him.
Help him.
Medic.
Damn.
The first day of the shoot was the scene with John Connor and Arnold learning the "Hasta la vista, baby" and all the sayings and stuff.
Oh, nice.
That was their first day.
That was
there.
fun.
The first day that Arnold saw Linda Hamilton, he said, "My God, Linda, you've gone ripped to shreds." It's got to be a compliment coming from Arnold.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
you did it.
Mr. Universe.
Is that good? Pretty good. Yeah,
like
you did
that
it
one?
pretty good.
That was decent enough, Daddy.
I just listened to Arnold for like 5.5 hours. So
I mean, as far as
That was
impressions go on this show, you're doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad. What James said was that even though there's all these groundbreaking special effects and the budget was like going to be near $100 million and all of that was pretty damn risky for like a new technology and all that stuff, he felt like making this movie that casting Eddie, the guy who plays John, was the riskiest part because he wasn't an actor. He was an unknown. And what James Cameron thought was like the story was about him mostly. Like it has all this background story about the apocalypse and his mother and all this stuff, but really it's about like a kid without parents. Like that's kind of the focal point of the movie, at least to James. And like, if those dramatic moments didn't hit and if the actor couldn't do what he wanted him to do, then the movie would have been a bust.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading some other interviews where he's like saying the focal point of the movie is actually Schwarzenegger's character in the sense of,
oh, he's flip-flopping?
Yeah. No.
Depends on who he talks to.
It's important. I mean, the kid's important too. He's just saying that the idea, like he was thinking that you have all these action shots, but the important thing is the idea to get you to care for Arnold's character at the end of the day, that you care that he's like sacrificing himself and that you can feel emotion for the machine. What's critical is the relationship between the machine and the kid, that's what makes all this happen. So, you know, if the kid was not good, then, and I don't know, I found the kid a little annoying this time. I thought the kid was like really cool when I was little. I think
he's very convincing a kid.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty cool.
Right,
yeah.
right. I think he's convincing. I think now I just see him as a little
Hacking
more annoying
into shit.
because he's a kid.
Talking shit. I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Moped
I was
with
more
his
his
mullet,
age. I was
redheaded
like,
mullet
man.
friend.
Riding a moped? I've always wanted to do that. I haven't even done it now.
That's sad. You should do it. You can do it. You're an
I
adult.
always wanted to ride a motorbike back in the day.
That's your bucket list.
Man.
You're all right. Go get a moped. You'll be go. Yeah.
No. I want like a motorbike, but you know. motorcycle, but
Yeah,
like in the
motorcycle.
mountains.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you want a motorcycle? I want at least one hereditary before I die.
No. Whoa. Let's not throw that out in the universe.
Well, that's
John.
what you're going after. You get a motorcycle.
John, why do you think I've never done this?
You get one with it. It's a twofer.
There's a reason why I haven't done it. Right?
I know. I'm sorry.
With motorcycles, you want to make sure you're going fast enough where you die on impact because you don't want to ride
That's what
around
you
on
want.
the
You
ground
don't want to be
afterwards.
crippled. That's a good point. You want to go
Yeah.
out a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be all
right.
T.S.
Just give
Eliot.
it
You
up.
just die. You don't want to. You don't want to be like halfway
Don't
dead.
leave
Exactly.
don't leave that door open where you might
That's
just get
right.
hurt. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So part of this movie was filmed in Fremont, California, which is very close to me, which is very exciting because usually they don't film movies up in the Bay Area, but it's, I'm not going to. Anyway, Fremont's a bunch of office buildings is what it is. So the office building portion of this movie where they blew up that Skynet building was in Fremont, California.
Okay.
All right. Did they blow up a real building? Because goddamn, it looked like it.
They blew up a real building and
No way.
they set up like all these safety things to make sure they didn't damage the actual building when they did it. And all of their safety things happened. It went off perfectly, but they didn't think about what would happen to the sprinkler system when they set this off. So they wanted to shut the sprinkler system off, but the fire department wouldn't let them do it.
No way.
And when they set off the fire, none of the fire damaged the building, but the sprinkler system went off and caused $300,000 worth of damage to the building.
Oh shit.
Dude,
So that sucks.
and they're just like, oh, that blows. That's a
Yeah.
lot of budget right there.
Just inflate it. It's going to be good. We got the shot, guys. We got the shot.
We got the shot.
I mean, Jesus Christ. So and then what? They just restored the building.
Just
That's
all the
pretty crazy.
repairs. Yep.
Jesus Christ, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
So I lied when I said James Cameron didn't talk other people up. He talked up the helicopter pilot in this movie a lot. He said he was
Oh,
probably
nice.
the best
Well, how can you
helicopter
not?
pilot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the helicopter with him a lot because James was doing a lot of the shooting helicopters.
the
There's like two
camera work well,
helicopters.
yeah.
He said the biggest rush of his life. There was one shot in this movie where the helicopter is like diving towards the highway and flattening out, and the camera is following the helicopter and flattening out. He was in the following helicopter, and like that dive bombing the ground in a helicopter was like
crazy.
the best thing he's ever done as a director.
Wow.
Jesus.
A lot of the helicopter shots were done with a stationary helicopter on a crane. So like every
no
time
way,
you
really?
see a helicopter, it's not always flying. They like did some
Yeah.
shots where it's just like hanging on a
Huh.
crane. You can't tell.
Wait,
Looks
No,
great.
not at
can't.
all. I have to look and see if you like see the rotor or something. I mean, if you see like,
It cuts so fast during some of those shots.
I
that,
know.
like, I
Yeah,
tried
you
to.
don't- it looked like they were. I assumed they were like flying the freaking helicopter
Yeah.
the whole time.
Because they show you enough of it. Like they show you, they do a really good job of like stepping back and being like, this is real. And then a close up shot of something like that's not as real, but your mind
Right.
is like connecting it really well. And then it steps
Right.
back
Same
again.
thing with what they're doing with the CGI. Kind of. It's
Yeah.
just all like interlacing everything so that you don't like focus on it long enough.
The silver suit was made out of Mylar, just as a
Okay.
thing there. I'm not sure how,
Right.
Tidbit.
a little tidbit.
Right.
When they were in the freezing cold steel mill, they put heat bars underneath the camera to make the air wavy to get the heat
Oh, right.
sensation
So you give
going
that
on.
heat effect.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Everyone else is freezing. Camera guys
Yeah.
are
Right.
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 Yeah.
But it looks good. Looks
The
hot.
the last shot of the T-1000 when he gets blown away by the grenade launcher and then falls backwards,
Yeah.
that was real, all of it. Stan Winston
Yeah.
job right there.
Nice. Wow.
Kind of looks like CG, but nope.
It
Did
yeah.
kind of look like
It
CG.
looks like good CG.
Yeah, really
And
good
so,
CG,
yeah.
but it's not. I mean, it's weird because he somehow got the silvery stuff on the models to look exactly like the silver in the CG, which is how it tricks you.
It's impressive.
The original ending had a scene with Linda being old, John with no scar, and there not being an apocalypse, but
Oh,
they
nice.
removed it because
Because they
one,
couldn't make
franchise.
3, 4, and
fit-
5.
No, because they didn't plan.
Without-
James Cameron didn't want a sequel to this one
I see.
originally, but
Yeah.
So why did they
one, it
remove
didn't fit for some reason. Like the
Mhm.
tone of it didn't fit, and two, apparently the acting by everyone in those scenes was not that good.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
So they actually like screened it a bunch, and everyone thought it was like a fine ending, but James didn't like it, and they ended up just taking a shot from earlier. They actually reused a shot for the last shot. I forget where they're going, but like I think it's when Linda's she's going back to LA to find the scientists, and it's just a
Okay.
dark shot of a road. and they reuse the shot with a new voiceover, and that's
right. It's like indeterminate. They're not like telling you what really is happening or not, and I like that. I think it's a much better ending. I think than like, oh, now we're all okay, and I'm an old woman.
Yeah.
He'd get to that in Titanic, though, wouldn't he?
I've not seen Titanic, and I'm pretty happy about that.
You haven't seen Titanic?
Nice.
No.
I forget that about you, John.
I know. It's the one movie I have not seen.
You've seen all the rest of them. Good for you.
Yep. Right. Nikki was very excited because she had assumed that Titanic would be on the IMDb top list. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is the last James Cameron movie. We could watch it next. I don't have any bonus movies. We could watch Titanic.
No.
No.
I don't really want to watch it.
Me either. So that was the one commentary. The other commentary was 23 cast and crew members. It was more of a kind of scatter shot of like trivia. Didn't necessarily line up with what was going on, but they tried to make it line up. They had some pretty good stuff where the bikers in the biker bar were real bikers, and they got them by hosting a happy hour and not telling them why. The casting director was there, and like free happy hour, like free beer for bikers. And the casting director went around and noted people that looked like they'd be good for a movie. And then at the end of the happy hour, contacted them and was like, "Hey, we'll put you in the movie."
Nice.
So non-actors.
I was like wondering if like one of the pool players there looked like Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
Oh,
like one of the guitar players from Metallica. But yeah, I guess they were just all bikers.
There are a lot of cars in this movie during a lot of the shots. Looks like just busy LA stuff. Every single car in this movie is in the production because of safety reasons. And I thought that was just kind of crazy because watching it, there are scenes with just like busy highway traffic, and the production of this movie just got hundreds of cars with hundreds of drivers to fill out the background during a lot of the shots, especially towards the first half of this movie.
Come on down and bring your car, something like that.
Yep. They built the ATM machine that John Connor was stealing out of. They built the arcade that they were playing in. They built the divider, like I said. They built the payphone that Arnold punched. They just built a bunch of stuff. It's weird because, like, why not just film it at an existing location? Because, like, these places exist.
It's controlled when you're
controlled, but it's
building
like,
it yourself.
That's true.
Well,
it's like some individually owned business. They don't want
at least
to
like
fuck
with
up
the
or something.
payphone and whatnot, you've got to break it all. You've got to like make it on a cardboard board.
You got to make a few of them before you even start. Because what if he only does it once and does no good? Then you got to get the other one out.
Yeah,
and so on and so on and so on.
This is just my stupid kid brain being like, yeah, it's easy. You just find a spot and you do it there, right?
And you just do it there. That's right.
No, you got to build it. You got to find a spot,
set,
paint, like take a picture, replicate it, and then you can break it.
Yep. Do it on the lot. Do it in the soundstage. Build it. Control it. You know.
There was a lot of sound trivia in this TC too. I didn't write a lot of it down because it was kind of
yeah, because no one cares about sound.
Yeah, not overly interesting. But I did find that the shotgun sound was they put in a real shotgun sound. James Cameron was like, not big enough. They put in like a big rifle sound, and he's like, not big enough. They put in a cannon sound. He was like, no good, not big enough. They put in two cannon sounds mixed together with pistols and rifles and reverb, and that's what the shotgun John is.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's smart. Lots of layers. I like that.
Lots of layers. The last piece of trivia I have is Edward Furlong's early life after this movie, which is pretty weird. You can look it up if you're more interested, but the tutor he had during the filming of this movie, who was 28 years old, and he was 13 years old during this movie, they dated when she was 28 and he was 13 for a while.
Right.
And apparently, not until 1994 was it illegal for women to sleep with underage men.
Oh, wow.
So this was happening right around then. So like the first few years of this, like the first 4 years of this, it was totally legal for her to be doing this. And then she lied about ever sleeping with him. He's come out and said that she did. His entire family says that she did. She says she didn't. There's no proof. She's not in prison. She's like still walking around and doing all this stuff. She tried to take a bunch of his money when he became an adult. Edward Furlong's family tried to like criminally charge her when he turned 18, sort of thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's a pretty weird thing.
Yeah.
I mainly say that because I didn't know it was legal for women to sleep with underage men before 1984.
It was like specified. I thought it would just be like there's an age restriction here.
No. Men are fucked. They're gonna do stupid shit anyway, so it's fine. It's fair game.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
I guess everything was legal at one point, right? I don't know.
Well, that's true.
It's not as recently as that one. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
But like he had some abuse problems. We can get into more of him, I think, during the American History X episode because that's still coming up. And he's in that one
too. Yeah.
Yeah. But his career's been pretty bumpy. But he's at least got these two movies like really great
in his past.
Performances.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah, he's a legend.
So that's all I got for this one.
All right.
Nice.
Would you put it in the top 250, guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is one.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again.
So would I. So what do we do next week, guys?
No idea.
Next movie on the list.
Oscars are coming up. Like, aren't they Oscars?
It's this
soon?
weekend.
Yeah.
And spoilers. I guess we're not that far in the past now, but Oscars to the listener would have been yesterday.
Right.
We have no idea who won.
So that's good.
Probably Elvis.
Glad you're listening.
Yeah, probably Elvis. If I were to bet money, great performances.
Just because it's the worst one.
Great cinematography, fantastic music. I like the colors. Baz Luhrmann, it's a genius.
This is all sarcastic.
What are you talking about? Which movie is this?
Elvis.
Elvis. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Yes, you're being
Tom
sarcastic.
Hanks has never been better in his life.
I have never seen a better ridiculous. Was it Russian or German? I forget what it was.
Was it supposed to be anything?
Accent.
Nobody knows.
An accent. Whatever it was an accent. Oh my God, was that an accent?
He was trying to be Colonel Sanders or something.
Yeah.
So Rear Window is the next list movie. We've gone through all of the Oscar nominees that we want to watch.
It's true.
And none of the foreign ones that we want to watch are available. I actually haven't checked.
Sucks.
Is Close available yet?
We're still waiting for All's Quiet on the Western Front, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, $20 now. No.
So are we going to, for the first time in a while, just do two list movies back to back?
I guess
that's
so.
Fine. That's fine. What do you got? Rear Window?
Rear Window.
That's a
Hitchcock.
Right.
All right.
Have you seen this one, TC?
Let's do that one. I think I have, yeah.
John, have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah.
But I'm ready.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a Hitchcock.
Okay, I'm gonna find another movie to watch because it's my turn to go first next week, and if John hasn't seen Rear Window, I want him to go first on that one. So I'll fill it in with something else. We'll put it on the website.
All right, so basically, if you listen, we don't know what we're gonna watch,
but I'll put it on the website.
But hey, tune in.
When this episode goes live, you can go to our website, mission250filmcast.com. Look at this, John. I'm plugging us. You can go to the top left bar.
Weird.
We have a section on our website called What's Next, and it's up to date every week where it tells you actually what we're going to be watching because we just listen to the podcast. We change it a lot.
You're
the
never
website
gonna find
is right all the time.
Right.
Because by the time I'm posting an episode, we have another one in the bank.
That's
Long
right.
story short, it's
See
accurate
how
on
this
the
all
website.
works, people?
Yeah.
Clockwork.
Clockwork, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, look at that. Look at the time,
Rear
guys.
Window.
Look
Not Rear Window and something else next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We'll work it out. Whatever you want, Danny.
It's going to be
We're
Titanic, guys. It's going to be Titanic.
Oh, God. Fuck no.
Yeah, Titanic.
Don't want to do it. Don't
James
want to do
Cameron.
it. My heart will not go on.
Oh, that's it. All right, bye.
Stop 'em.